This is video number 14 of my course outcome series, and this one is sort of a large subject on sort of one of the larger requirements here. So communicate information, arguments, and analysis accurately and reliably, orally and in writing, to specialist and non-specialist audience. So we recently had a lot of things change at work. It resulted in a lot of reports breaking down at very critical times. So it was really bad. A lot of users really needed to get information to finalize things for the end of the quarter, and it required pulling a lot of data in, and suddenly the sources of data were not working, or there were things that needed to fundamentally change. The problem was that the information was accounting information, and the people who knew the most about how to fix the problem were IT staff, who may not understand the data or the reason or the format that the data needed to be in for the users in accounting. However, I as somebody who knows a lot about accounting, but and is fairly new to IT, I was able to kind of help very much with this situation. I was able to apply my accounting understanding and gather the requirements from the accountant directly. I called him up and I asked him what sort of things he's having trouble with, what he needs the reports to do. It turned out he needed sort of something that compiled a list of unscanned vouchers that he would use to make sure that all entries that needed to be posted were posted, and anything that was sort of not part of that was recognized as things that were being deferred to the next period. We needed to sort of make sure that that would be carried into sort of the income statement and the balance sheet, depending on what the items were in the vouchers. But yeah, the regular method he'd been using for a while had broken down, and it was a really tough spot because we were just on the cusp of quarter end. Luckily, through the information I had gathered through chatting with the accountants, I was able to relay that effectively to the experts in IT that I could work with to fix this problem. A guy named Derek and a guy named Judd, and we were able to come together, and they were able to kind of show me sort of how information gets into the final destination. In this case, we're looking at Excel, as well as some reports that are generated through a report manager utility that assembles all the reports in sort of a pre-canned sort of way. So those links had broken down, so it required sort of an understanding of how the accounting worked in order to rebuild them as fast as possible. So the three of us put our heads together. We all sort of knew our area of expertise, and I was able to effectively communicate the needs of the user to the IT staff. And so the accounting information necessity was recognized properly when the reports were rebuilt. So we did receive a nice card as recognition for this work that we did, and it was a very tough fix, but I'm very proud of the work that we all did together, that we were able to kind of bring all of our disciplines together and put this right the ship. It wasn't exactly, there was a little back and forth between myself and accounting and IT. It wasn't all just simple, this is the one way to do it. There were many things to consider, and we had, I wouldn't say arguments, we had sort of disagreements. We really had to all sit down together and consider all the factors and everything that can go, that is our decision is going to affect in the way that we redesign these things, because there are a lot of users that could be affected. So we really had to work together and bring everything to the table in order to make our case for our final decisions here of how we were going to go about implementing this fix. So I would say I learned how to do all this through, of course, all my accounting courses through SAIT. I think critical thinking also came into play as well, because there were a lot of issues to consider that were outside of the box, and it required some really creative thinking and stepping out of our comfort zones. Of course, business communications was very important here, as it taught us how to effectively communicate, and the importance of sometimes you can't just leave this to email. Sometimes you need to get on the phone. You need to get everybody organized immediately because you need that instant feedback in these sort of situations where time is of the essence and things need to get done. So I'm very glad we did this and that I learned these skills through SAIT.